You see, Alfred, I am totally in disagreement with Professor Prof Agyemang Duah's position on this matter, because I think he's confusing three different things. Okay, there is one, the distribution of money to voters. There is two, the distribution of marijuana to voters. Then there is three, that envelope which was given by a certain member of parliament and deputy minister of state in this MPP government to an electoral officer. You can't put everything together and say that the discussion of all these three issues are hypocritical and that this has been happening. What has been happening? First of all, on the distribution of money, what has been happening, okay, is the distribution of money to delegates in internal party elections. That has been a prevalent phenomenon.
Public elections.
Exactly. Exactly. And that you can say happens on both sides. I would be a hypocrite to say that in internal elections in the NDC, people don't give delegates money. But we are talking about that phenomenon going to another level where even in public elections, now monies are being distributed to voters like it happened in Asenof and like it happened in Ejeso. And I am telling Professor Prof Agyemang Duah that you cannot find any CDD report on any public election in this country which recorded the kind of incidents we saw at Asenof and in Ejeso in terms of not internal elections and the distribution of money to delegates, but in terms of the distribution of money to voters in public elections like what we had at Asenof and Ejeso, it is unparalleled. So there is no basis for equalization. Number two, never has it happened in this country, and Professor Prof Agyemang Duah can show us any CDD reports which recorded an incident of a political party distributing marijuana, okay, to voters. So how can you put everything together and say that this has been happening? And so we are being hypocritical in raising these issues. Marijuana, in all the elections he observed, did he see any political party, including the MPP? Show us, not even real incidents, but even reports of political parties distributing marijuana. Then number three, this Kingsley Nyako matter we are talking about, Prof, with all due respect, is not just an act of indiscretion. Come on, our laws, our elections are governed by laws. If he was not an observer or an agent, by law, he was not supposed to enter that inner perimeter. Again, you cannot be distributing money. Okay, initially he denied. And the reason why I am of the opinion that whatever he gave that electoral officer was inducement has to do with the inconsistent accounts he has given. In one breath, it was a document. In another breath, it was lunch. And it's been pointed out to him that, look, this was early morning. You know, it's very difficult for me to do this because he's a friend. And I go on Good Morning Ghana on Metro TV with him and all that. But this is about Ghana. You see, in one breath, you say it's a document. In another breath, it was lunch. Meanwhile, at the time you were doing it, it was even morning time. And you see, if it was a mere kind gesture, the electoral officer would not have felt any guilt in accepting it. Watch the video clearly. When he first presented the envelope, the EC officer did not take the envelope. He dropped it on the table.
In fact, one of them walked away.
He dropped it on the table and one walked away. So it's like, okay, people are watching, so you're uncomfortable, but I'm dropping it. Clearly, the intention was not legitimate. The reason, and nobody can tell me that this only happened at one polling station. We only saw this because, coincidentally, Multimedia was granted an interview there. The cameraman was present to zoom in for us to see this. Who knows the other polling stations he went to? You understand? So please, Prof, if he's saying that monetization is not a new phenomenon, he's right. But to say that we are being hypocritical and that all the issues we are discussing here are not new and that all political parties are guilty, he is wrong, terribly wrong, because the NDC is not in the activity of distributing marijuana to voters, and we are not in this business of distributing money wholesale to voters in public elections. Neither are we in the business of distributing money to electoral officers in public elections like this. So there is no basis for comparison or equalization. I rest my case.